Welcome to Secular Soup. Stay tuned for real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever the fuck else Amy and Amy want to talk about, because this is their show. And get ready for a whole lot of motherfucking profanity.
You want to hear a secret?
I won't tell anybody. Go ahead.
If I sit next to you, I'm going to get gonorrhea. It's going to jump into me. Just two ladies hanging out.
Is it okay for me to make fun of his neck waddle if I make fun of my own neck waddle?
I'm not sure.
That's a real ethical conundrum.
Would you know if you were born a lizard person, or can you be like adopted into the...
I think you know.
We're such professionals.
We really are.
Buckle up, bitches. It's time to have some soup.
I'm Amy with a Y.
And I'm Amy with an I.
And we're just two blueberries floating in a bowl of tomato soup. And you are listening to Secular Soup, the premier soup-based podcast of the next decade. It is 2020 and it's blowing my mind.
To the future.
You really are. Like,
we're coming at you from the future.
Back in the year 2000, I thought, someday it's going to be 2020, and that's just going to be...
I couldn't even wrap my brain around that.
No, and now it's just like, what the fuck happened?
I was like 5, as you are.
No, toddler. I was toddler age.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting a tattoo, but it was...
I was not married, for sure.
No, definitely.
For sure.
So yeah, it's...
I hadn't been married for a whole year at that point. That's for sure.
It was kind of the end of my...
Actually, I hadn't. I'd been married for like... I don't know, 5 months.
Yeah.
5 months.
New Year's Eve, 1999
But I'd known him for 8, so,
Yeah. It was the end of my hoeing days back when I was young. And it was briefly the next year that I met my now Mr. with a Y. So, yeah. 1999 was a badass year for me. Now it's 2020, and I'm old and shit, and he's still hanging around my house and just won't fucking leave. So, I guess I'm stuck with that decision I made. 10 years ago, 2010 started out with a new baby, which it just occurred to me this morning. Hey, that was a decade starter. Yeah,
in 2010.
I think that means they're going to be 10 now this year. Something like that. I don't know. Weird. So yes, it's New Year's Day.
She has the coolest birthday ever, though, because it's 5/5/10.
Oh,
it's like the coolest birthday ever.
That's mine. I can't ever remember, but it's 2/4/10. But it confuses me because my other kid's birth year is 04. So they both have the number 4 in their birthday. It's just in different spots. Nice. And since I have 2 of them, I get them confused. And whenever someone, what's their date of birth? And I have to think for a minute. And then I look like a really bad mom. So, yeah. Kid number 2 was supposed to be born on Valentine's. I have to ask my oldest,
I'm like, what year were you born? He's like, oh my God, Mom, 2003. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess it's not as bad as my husband
just
being like, what's your birthday?
I had a baby in 2003 and I had a baby in 2005. Mm-hmm. I was just like, which one were you?
So many dates to remember. So many kids running around and they get confusing and ugh.
And they smell.
They really do, especially when they...
Like, I thought babies smelled, but you can just change them and clean them, and they're cool.
And then they have that new baby smell.
Dang.
Teenagers smell like...
They smell like
a garbage dump.
Cheese Fritos. I don't even know. Like, it smells like they have a bird, but they don't have a bird in their room.
It smells like sour milk mixed with the garbage that you should have taken out 3 days ago.
Right.
And, like... dirty clothes in a basement.
That's their job, so it's still sitting there.
Right, exactly. It's so bad.
It's gross.
Anyway, so kids
and
smell.
And you say take a shower, and their hair is like stuck to their head because they're so greasy.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm cool. I showered on Friday. You're like, it's next Thursday.
Yep.
Like, you can't.
But I just did it a week ago.
And they look at me like I'm an idiot for even suggesting a shower. Like,
and then ask them, when was
who
the last time?
do you think you are?
When was the last time you brushed your teeth?
Shower and deodorant. Yeah. Oh, don't even ask that.
Yeah, question. It occurred to me my kid hasn't been at school for, I don't know, a week and a half. And getting up and going to school is usually the cue to brush your teeth. Mm-hmm. Being the bad mom that I am, I have not been monitoring that situation.
I've been forgetting too. My kids were home. They were here all last week.
Yeah.
And I don't even know.
Just yesterday was
so we have a bunch of toothbrushes.
When did you brush your teeth? Yeah, I can't.
And I'll ask them, I'm like, hey, have you guys brushed your teeth lately? And they're like, we can't remember which toothbrush is ours.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, cool. So I bought a new pack of toothbrushes. It's still sealed and sitting on their counter in their bathroom. I'm like, cool. This is...
Kids are so gross.
stellar parenting. I feel like one of them has braces. I'm
after
like,
a few days, it just feels gross. How can that not bother them?
I can't go.
No.
Like, I can't even eat something
but
weird.
Like as a kid, I remember not giving a shit and finding ways to pretend I had brushed my teeth because I just didn't want to, like.
Well, and that's what I tell them. So they do that to me. They just
Oh yeah. Rub some toothpaste on it quick.
Or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all that hurts is you. Mm-hmm. This does not stick it to me.
No.
This only hurts you.
Yeah.
In the long run, you're the one that hurts.
Mm-hmm. My youngest one asked the other day, what happens if you don't brush your teeth for a long time? And I said, well, you get cavities in your teeth and then they fall out. And then you grow new ones? I'm like, no, then you never get a new one ever.
That you are not a shark.
If it's your adult tooth, it's gone. And he's like, okay, I have to go to the bathroom for a minute. And runs into the bathroom. Like, just nonchalantly, like, I'll be right back. I need to run and do this thing.
I remembered I have to pee.
Yeah. It's just a thing I like to,
shower and,
so yeah.
Change the toilet paper roll and put it on the right way.
Just be real with your kids. Be like, if you don't brush your teeth, you're going to have meth mouth. And
your head's going to fall off.
No one's going to want to hire you and no one's going to want to date you. And,
It gets real hard.
Sorry. Anyway. Totally New Year's related. Do you have any New Year's resolutions this year? Like, I should say, we're recording this on New Year's Day, and I'm going
We're on New Year's Day.
Try my level best to drop this afternoon. It's probably not going to happen, but we'll see.
Resolutions. I'm not really a big fan of resolutions.
Yeah, me neither.
It feels like hollow promises I make to myself.
Yeah, at this age, you figured out it's never going to happen anyway, so.
Yeah, and when I was Mormon, I used to, my New Year's resolution was translation. I guess that's a churchy word. It's, when you get translated, like you get sucked into heaven because you're too pure for the earth.
Okay.
So my New Year's resolution, was to be translated because I figured if I fell short that I was pretty damn good still.
That's true.
So that was my goal every year. And,
never achieved
I figured
it?
It was, I might have, or maybe it's
just hard to tell.
Hard. I don't even know. But yeah, that was my goal every year because, people are like, what's your New Year's resolution? I'm like, translation. And they were like, okay. Because I was a bitch then too.
Yeah. Not shocking.
So yeah, that's
my New Year's resolution.
Yeah, there's a theory that the city of Atlantis was actually sucked up because.
Oh, that makes perfect sense though when you say it like that.
It's logical. It's just science.
I figured out long ago that New Year's resolutions are just a great way to disappoint yourself when March rolls around. And then you're like, oh, God, I haven't done any of this. So just don't bother. Don't make resolutions. They're pointless. You're just going to be unhappy when the next month or two rolls around and you're still sitting there not having gone to the gym and not eating healthier and not doing that project you were going to do. And just aim low,
I mean, I have personal things. Like I have... like what we're going to talk about today. I have a lot of self-doubt and I have a lot of, like if things are going well, I kind of self-sabotage. That's kind of
well, you're not very good at things,
so we'll have like a great weekend and we'll have like a great time and everything will be awesome. So I'll pick a fight,
as you do.
Right. So I'm kind of like, I've been working on that and it's getting better, but
Yeah.
Still.
What is there one thing this year that you are looking forward to the most?
I'm probably going back to school.
Ooh.
To get my master's degree. And that's something I'm excited about.
I am. The In the Heights movie is coming out in June, and it's the only thing keeping me going right now. If you don't know, In the Heights was Lin-Manuel Miranda's first musical before he made Hamilton. It's equally good. He won a Tony for it, and they're making the movie version, and it comes out in June. So I'm just going to be on autopilot until June, till I can go see that movie, and then my life will be totally fulfilled. So pretty excited about that. And there's an election this year. I'm going to ignore that as much as I can because I don't like to face reality. So, yeah, the thing we were going to talk about today is imposter syndrome, which is actually something I had never heard of until I went to my first Secular Women Work Conference and I took a little workshop on it and it blew my goddamn mind.
Well, it's one of those things that when you hear about it, you're like, oh, yeah, I have that.
Yeah. And it makes things make sense, because then you're like, oh my God,
you sit there and you take a step back, you're like, maybe I'm just not good enough to actually have that. Yeah. Because people who actually have that are successful, and I'm just...
You should explain. This was your topic idea, so you should kind of explain to people if they don't know, what is imposter syndrome? Like, what are we talking about?
I'm going to actually do the actual definition.
Please do. We like to be accurate on Secular Soup.
Why don't you pull up the patrons while I'm pulling this up so we can do that?
You know what? I did before we started, right?
What?
Right? Should I do them now, or should I wait until after you do the actual...
Go ahead and do the patrons.
I'll do it. Okay, let's see how quickly I can get through it. My New Year's resolution for 2020 is to get through these fucking patrons in under 3 minutes. So we have got, if you're listening for the first time, which is always a possibility, that makes me feel weird.
Welcome. You're welcome here.
Welcome. This is a safe space. You're going to enjoy the next hour. It won't hurt that much. I'm the best Amy. The other one, we just kind of go, and she thinks she's doing something interesting. If you would like to give us your money, you can go to patreon.com/secularsoup and become our patron and get some wonderful treats, like early access to episodes. We're going to start doing some bonus content at the end of episodes. We have bonus series that we do, like Conspiracy Chowder and Raw Men. So you're going to get all that good shit. If you pledge us at the $6.66 a month level, which is called our Devil's Chili level, you get a shout out on every single episode. So our current Devil's Chili patrons are Andy, who I get to see again on Friday night, I think, which will be cool because our liberal get-together is on Friday. Super excited about that. We've also got Natalie, who I have been chatting back and forth with, begging her to help me with a logo for a new podcast I'm doing, because I definitely needed to add more things to what I'm doing. We've also got Nuggin. We've got Freethinker 215 and Nelson months support Phil Abundance, give to your food bank. I hope Freethinker 215 is impressed that I knew how to do the So yeah, that's as much as I know about The Simpsons, but please do give to your food bank. It's an important cause. We also have Shmishtina, who is actually kind of the impetus for this discussion that we're going to have, I think. I think she's the one that brought it up. No, somebody else that brought it up? Oh, fuck you, Shmishtina.
They just shared that...
Never mind.
They just shared that meme.
Okay.
No, Christina just sent me the text saying, because I told her what we were talking about, and she was like, "Are you sure you know enough about it to talk about it?" I'm like, "You bitch."
Which was the most on point response, and Shmistina needs her own podcast. So we have also got newer patron April. We've got Life in the Left Lane, which bounced up from $1 a month to $6.66 a month. I think we need to immediately start planning a new crossover episode with them. Not only because we loved the last one, but it seems like it's the thing that broke up their podcast to begin with. So maybe we could do it all over in 2020, right? I mean, you're in. Mm-hmm. $10 a month, you get your own personalized soup bowl made by yours truly. I have 2 or 3 sitting on my craft counter right now waiting for me to fucking finish. So we've got it's the new year. So we've got our second favorite Rich back at $10 a month. Already has his soup bowl. Hope he hasn't broken it yet because he's not getting a new one. We have got Wendy. We have got Elvin Engineer. Thank you both so much for your patronage. At our $20 and up a month level, we have got our favorite patron ever, Lady Dr. Ashley. You are amazing, as always. We've also got Randall, as always, is perfectly fine and adequate, and we enjoy your money because we get to buy nail polish with it. So thank you so much, Randall.
I had New Year's nails last night.
Nice.
They're hot pink with like confetti.
I was going to paint my toenails while we were recording, but then I forgot the nail polish upstairs. So god damn it.
My toenails are teal with the confetti. But my toenails are always teal with confetti. Like I've had the same color toes.
Look. Yeah.
For like 2 years.
Mm-hmm. I like that look.
But my nails usually don't have confetti, so they are.
I like to switch it up. Maybe I'll do some confetti this time.
My nails are always different, but my toes are always the same color.
We'll post pictures of our toes in the Secular Soup Talk group. So get on Facebook, go to Secret Soup Talk, and just wait. And eventually we'll post some pictures.
Yeah, just sit there and wait.
Just sit and wait by the computer.
My hand looks pretty.
Yeah.
But. Okay,
so we've got second place patron coming in the second spot is Always the Bridesmaid, Never the Bride. Who's I'm disappointed, still coming in second after all this time at $33.33 a month. I think maybe it's just that's such a nice.
Have you tried wearing your hair differently?
That's true. My hair has gotten really long, and it's nice because now I can put it in that messy bun wherever I go and put no effort into it. I love it.
I love it.
It's the greatest thing ever.
Last night I had my hair down and I had a scrunchie on my wrist. I'm like,
It feels weird having my hair down now. Like, oh, there's just stuff on my
someone
neck.
at work, they were like, you look so much different with your hair down.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then I like pulled it up.
Yeah.
I was like, and
there we go. Yeah, don't tell me how to live. You don't know my life.
They were saying I look prettier. I know that what they were saying.
Oh, that's when someone says you look great with your hair down, or that means
you look so much different
better
with your hair down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get it. I understand.
It's true.
But I don't want to have to go through the hassle of brushing it.
They're not wrong.
Washing it.
But then it's just like this dead dog laying on your shoulders when, if it's up, you feel more free to run around and do things, and your hair's not encumbering your whole head. And
right.
It's like a philosophical thing. So at our top patron spot, once again, coming in at $34.56 a month, which I just realized, if you read in a row goes 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm really good at math. So top patron is named, Jamie Lee Curtis is cool. I'm not going to disagree with that. Jamie Lee Curtis is cool. Is there anyone who doesn't like Jamie Lee Curtis? Like, I thought she was something all of America could agree on. So hopefully during this horrible election year, we can all get together and, worship Jamie Lee Curtis as our God. So thank you so much to all of our patrons. I don't think that was under 3 minutes, but at least it's not the whole show.
Carrie Fisher is our space mom. So we need someone who's badass to kind of wiggle over to that.
There's not that many badass women in America, though. We're all kind of, boring and bland, and we're not that funny. So
like shoes.
Yeah, too much lipstick.
Making pies. Here's helpful hints on how to change a baby. That's what women
You can't change a baby. You have to keep the one that they sent you home with. Like
you can't. There's no exchanging.
There's no exchanging. They frown on that. So
what if it's
a really ugly one?
Broken.
Yeah, no.
Like this one's damaged because he cries.
Nope. No warranties. Think about that before you have kids. Yeah. So, imposter syndrome.
Just don't do it. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Just don't.
If you know us, we don't recommend having kids, and we say that as loving mothers.
10 out of 10. Do not recommend. Yeah, would not do again.
Yeah. So, imposter syndrome. Go.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. I was looking that up. I got distracted.
So you didn't actually look it up? You just got distracted by the shiny object?
I just got distracted by Facebook for a second.
Okay.
Imposter syndrome can be defined as a collection of feelings of inadequacy that persist despite evident success. Imposters suffer from chronic self-doubt and a sense of intellectual fraudulence that override any feelings of success or external proof of their competence. So I have that pretty much in every aspect of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I have this friend on Facebook who posted this meme yesterday that I liked it so much that I sent it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, so it's from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Don't fuck that up. Her people will come after you.
I want her to be president, honestly.
I would love her to be the president.
Freaking love her.
Mm-hmm.
But so she was tweeting about this tweet, and the tweet was just a casual reminder that 60% of all wealth in America is inherited. Pull yourself up by the bootstrap is a sham. And she responded, a lot of people who struggle with imposter syndrome haven't realized yet that what they're actually competing with is intergenerational wealth. Be kind and patient to yourself.
Yeah.
And I hadn't thought about that in those terms, that the reason we're all so frustrated and self-doubty is we're not successful in what we're doing comparatively.
Right. In the way that other people define success, or in the way that our culture defines success.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I should be really successful in what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I should be. I was talking to a general colleague earlier. I was like, I have degrees in my field and I work hard and I have, overtime and crazy hours and, all this stuff, and I'm good at my job. I should be, like a successful businesswoman.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm just getting
by.
Scraping by.
Yeah. White knuckling it through life.
30 years ago, I would have been like this badass corporate bitch. But now I'm just like, you know? Like, right. And that's why. Like, comparatively, because this, it also comes into play that this generation is just, we're underpaid and overeducated.
Yeah.
And I'm including myself in them.
I feel like we're very raised in this culture. Not only, I mean, it's obvious that we're raised to believe that money equals success, or that, you know, wealth equals you did something to make you
I just want to be able to keep my lights on and eat. Right. You know, that's my definition of success.
You assume as a kid that when you just kind of, our generation grew up thinking, just assuming that we were going to do better than our parents. Like, I grew up fairly poor, and I just thought, well, I'll be a little bit, like, I wasn't thinking I'd be rich, but I thought...
And I was for a second.
Yeah, so was I. Like, I thought, okay, I'll do a little bit better. I'll make a little bit more money. I'll have a little nicer house. And again, for a while, I did. But even then, you feel like you don't belong there. Like, you're not doing the same thing everybody else was doing. Like, everybody else was doing something more legitimate and harder, and you somehow just stumbled into your success. Like, and I remember I used to think that way a lot about politicians. Like, I would look at politicians when I was younger and think, well, clearly they did something to get there, you know? They're smart, they worked hard.
Some of them just have the right last name, honestly.
Yeah, and I think I've mentioned this on the show, but I remember the moment that died in me was when I went and watched a Senate hearing at the Minnesota State House and just realized these fuckers truly have no idea what they're talking about. They don't know. They don't have any special education that I don't have. They're not smarter than I am. I always thought they were, because how would they get to that position unless they were smarter than I was?
Yeah, it's literally sheer luck. Yeah, a lot of times.
And then it's frustrating, because then you look at it and go, what, this fucker can do this and I can't somehow? But yeah, every step of life, I always felt like I was faking it, you know, like I was faking it enough to make people think that I was smart or to think that I was good at something, but I wasn't actually, and everybody else around me was actually skilled and qualified. And I did not realize that was a feeling that almost everybody has, until I went to that workshop and they talked about imposter syndrome. And I was like, oh shit, this is a thing. This isn't just me being neurotic, you know? And I always thought that's what it was, that it was just something in me that I couldn't fix, that I was just, you know, faking it through life, I guess. And I feel like it goes along with the idea of never feeling like an adult. Like, you keep waiting and waiting to feel like you're an adult, and you don't realize until later that never actually happens. Because in your head, you're always just kind of the same person. It's not like...
Well, yeah, there's never a switch. No. Where you're just like, and deserving.
Right. Or
so that's how it is with everything.
Yeah.
Like, I know everybody has this with everything.
Yeah.
Like, even for this show, like, you and I both, we've turned off episodes where we stopped recording. We're like...
Yeah, so bad.
Yikes. Nobody's... And then, so that was what was so gratifying, probably for you also, was we kind of like tentatively sent it over to Rich, because he was like, I'll edit it for you. And we sent it over, and he was like, we were laughing so hard. We love you guys. We love your show. And we were just like, serious? I'm like, did you send him the one we recorded?
Well, and
like that. What episode did you send him? Because I do not remember it being funny or greater.
Well, and then you think he's just lying to make us feel good, right? He must just be overdoing it. And I also remember thinking, like, Rich and Deanna, they're like podcasting royalty. Like, they're so good. Everybody loves them. And then you get to know them and you realize they have those same feelings too. Like, they're not enough, or they're not not sure what...
you get to know them as humans and not just these podcast geniuses.
Yeah, they don't see it the way all the other people are looking at it. All the other people are going, you guys know, you know exactly what you're doing. You helped create this podcast community. Like, you're so
like this whole genre, basically,
with it and together. And that's not how they feel when they're doing it.
Everybody feels that way,
Yeah, and you assume that if someone's doing it, then they must feel confident doing it. And yeah, it's kind of this just aha moment when you're like, we're all winging it.
You go to conventions and people are like, oh, I love your show, or I know who you are, or they just hug you. And you're just like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm just sitting in my bedroom talking to myself, basically.
I always end up feeling like, aren't these people nice to make me feel good about something that I probably am not that good at? But it's...
Well, the biggest were, I didn't have to introduce myself. That's what was...
That was cool,
like,
yeah.
Like, I went up to Callie. Oh, and I freaking love Callie. And I went up to Callie, and it's like open arms, instant connection. I'm like, oh my God, Callie knows who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what?
I remember when I was taking that workshop, I was looking around at everybody in the room, and that conference, it was the first Secular Women Work Conference, and it wasn't very big, but the attendees were all activists, or all, people who really wanted to get active in the atheist community, just in liberal politics in general. So these were all people that were out in their communities doing important things, and looking around the room and realizing every single person in that room felt exactly like I did. Like, I'm the one that's not supposed to be here, but they let me in anyway. And it's just awesome that I get to hang out with all of you people who know exactly what you're doing. And I'm just kind of a witness to all of these intelligent people, but, I don't really belong here, but they had to let me in because I paid some money. And you really start to break that idea down in your head. And no, maybe everybody else around me isn't some amazing genius who's got it all together.
Nope.
Maybe they're just somebody with some decent ideas, and they like to express those ideas, and they happen to be decent at it.
Put themselves together a certain way, and they present an image.
And they're all doing the same thing. They're going up on stage and talking to people going, oh, shit.
Everybody's like,
oh, what are people going to think?
What are you even doing?
How is this going to, how did I get here? It's such a weird feeling. But the whole money angle to it was when you sent me that just...
I really liked that.
Blew my goddamn mind.
I didn't even realize, that's so much of what it is. Especially, I've noticed it in classes. When I was in school, I'll be sitting in these classes, and it's a concept that's kind of over my head, and I'm just looking around like, everybody in here understands this.
Yeah.
I am not smart enough to be in this class. I do not deserve to be in this class. The only reason I'm maintaining this grade is because I'm doing my work and studying and whatever, but it is hard.
Yeah.
And then you realize that, you're okay. It's okay.
Yeah. And that those other people
there's so many
feel
times.
the
That's
same
happened
way.
to me so many times. You look around, I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then one way I've had a problem with it is the image I present to the world. I feel like it doesn't match who I am or how I feel about myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if people have that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I feel that same way. I have a similar...
when I look in the mirror, it's not me necessarily, because I feel... It's different because I feel like I'm very ugly.
Here's
a lot of times, I'm like a frumpy, ugly person, and then I look in the mirror, I'm like,
yeah. But the people looking at you see that you have this smile and this kind of radiance where you just look energetic and happy and healthy and right.
But inside I'm like,
but that's not how you feel.
Dragon.
Yeah.
No.
I always feel like I get, just because I'm such a fucking loudmouth and an extrovert, and I'm constantly monopolizing conversations and being around a lot of people, and people will tell me that they like me and they think I'm funny, and I've got a lot of friends in real life and online just through sheer force of luck and talking to people. It's not because I'm a great person. It's just I really, as much as I hate humanity, I really like people, and there's so many people I've met that I just like and I want to connect with. And
see, I'm the other way. I don't like people.
But I always feel like when those people are talking to me, or if they're giving me compliments, I just assume that it's their way of making me feel good. Nice. They're just being nice. Yeah. And that maybe they mean
I
some
feel like
of
that.
it.
I get invited to things just because people are being nice to me.
Exactly. And maybe they mean it a little bit, but they're really going, what they're really trying to do is just make me feel good, and it's not genuine. And then I think about, but when I do that with other people, I am being genuine. When I tell people...
That's what John McCullough points out. He's like,
yeah,
when we go to parties, people are really happy to see us.
Yeah.
They like seeing us. They want to see you. They want to talk to you,
Well, think about the people you want to see. You're genuinely happy to see them, and they probably feel the same way in their head as you do.
Yeah, that's...
But when you're
crazy.
when you're looking at them going, oh, cool dress, or it's so good to see you, you're not lying about that. You mean that,
Oh, yeah.
And I do that too with friends, and
it's the same. And everybody's doing that.
Everybody's doing that. And everybody's assuming that the other people are just trying to make them feel good. It's this never ending mind fuck.
So last night, but they don't. Last night I went to a Roaring 20s party.
Yeah.
And I got
so
to
jealous.
Dress. And everybody there looked so good. It was so much fun. Because everybody was dressed up in their 1920s garb.
Yeah.
And there was even like a 1920s like bar worker. Like she dressed up like a 1920s wench.
Oh, I love it.
It was so great with like the ruffle up down her butt, like the whole bustle thing.
Bustle.
It was great. It was so great with like the little panties.
Yeah.
And then, it was so great. But yeah, there was like everybody looked so amazing. And I was like, I don't even know, like like the whole night.
Yeah.
Like I was freaking out about my hair because I couldn't put it came with a headband. My dress came with a headband, but I couldn't put it over my hair like you're supposed to because it kept like sliding all the way up until it was a crown on top of my head. Yeah. And I kept turning to General and calling him like, should I wear it like this? And he's like, perfect, of course. Yeah. So I had to wear it like a headband, and then I felt like I was being disingenuous.
Like you were
with the way
lying
it was
somehow.
Right.
And tricking all these people into thinking that you understood something that you didn't, or...
And I didn't wear fishnet stockings like I should have, but...
fishnets weren't that big in the 20s.
Thigh highs are a nightmare.
Nah. Fishnets were not
They
that
just
big of a
slide
deal.
down all night. So...
Yeah, I
I
think it's part of that.
But everybody else looked amazing.
I always wonder if, and I'm sure there's research or something on this somewhere, I have no idea, but I always wonder if the imposter syndrome thing affects women more than men, or if it's an equally, if it's kind of a gender neutral thing, if men feel this way too, or non-binary people, or if it's something that's like this cultural conditioning with women where we're just kind of brought up to believe that we're not quite as good of, because, the people I usually look at and think, oh, they have their shit together, are like men who work at a bank or insurance salesmen, or like people that wear a suit to work and they can talk to you about something very technical and they seem to know what they're talking about and they're very confident about it. And I see women like that too, but it's just because of the way that, I guess, the patriarchy works, you see more men like that than you do women. And you see more male politicians.
It doesn't look like it's gendered. It's more of a success thing.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, like even...
They said general managers running billion-dollar companies have it.
Yeah, and it's...
Most senior men struggle with it day in and day out.
But they say, like in politics, there's this kind of well-known idea that, to get a man to run for office, you just ask him once and he wants to do it. Or it's his idea. To get a woman to do it, you have to ask her 3 times before she'll agree to it. Because she just so believes that it's not something she's qualified to do. And it's really common in politics where men are like, oh, fuck yeah, I could do that. And they run for office.
So
and
that has a lot behind it as well. It's not necessarily the woman doubting whether or not she can do it.
Right.
It's the practicality of it. Like how can she do what she needs to do on the back end, because women have so much on their plates all the time. Can she do that? Can she also run for office? Can she also take care of everything else she needs to take care of? Are people going to take her seriously? Is she going to be harassed?
Yep.
There's
which, when you think about it, is so fucked up, because all that means is that we're
actually comes into play. Like, if I take this position, are people even going to listen to my voice?
Exactly.
Is someone going to try to sexually harass me?
Exactly.
Am I going to be able to walk to my car after working late hours? Like, there's a lot that comes into play.
Well, and they're going to dig through my entire past. They're going to find that one guy I slept with at the bar that one time.
Heaven forbid, is there one topless picture of me? There's a lot.
And then you're going to be
there's
shamed for the rest of your life. And
I'm going to be slut shamed because I have, naked pictures.
And what kills me about that is that a lot of that has to do with parenting too. If you're a mom, you're told, how are you going to do that when you have kids? And men are never asked that question ever. Like, if they have kids, it's not, how are you going to run for office when you have all these kids?
Okay, I did find something that just says it affects women more often, but it's not really a link to Psychology Today. Psychology Today says that it kind of affects everybody that's successful, has any level of success. But this Guardian article says that 66% of women experience it, compared to only just over half of men. So it's real close still.
It seems really low to me for women even. Like, Because when I talk to anybody I know, any of my friends...
It's also linked to emotional exhaustion.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
That makes sense, but it's something... God, I feel like it's something I've always felt my entire life. I don't remember a time when I didn't feel that way. You know, even when I was in school and, you know, I was getting good grades, but I was like, I don't really deserve it. I just happened to be good at this one thing, and it's not because I did anything to earn it. And yet I'm looking around at all these other people taking classes going, God, they're so hardworking, and they're going to get into a good college. And, you know, I don't know. The older I get, the better I get at not think that, I don't know, the older I get, the better I get at not thinking those things. Like, I'm learning as I get older to give less of a fuck about anything. And part of that includes what other people think about what I'm doing. So, like, I used to be a lot more cautious with things I said just because I would think, God, is the thing I'm about to say going to really alienate everybody around me? Or what are they going to think of what I said? Or I'm starting to just not give a shit and think, if they don't like what I said, they can go away, you know? If they don't like me, they don't need to be around me. It's fine. Not everybody has to like me. And even if I don't know what I'm doing, who cares? Neither does anybody else. And I wish I could totally get to that point, but I'm getting closer to it the older I get. You know what I mean?
That's my goal, too. Because the problem is I care too much about how I'm perceived.
Yeah.
Well, and that's so. I don't wear makeup often. Like sometimes I'll slap on some mascara and lipstick, like light lipstick or whatever. I don't know, or lip gloss or whatever. But last night I put on like full makeup, and I kept flipping down the visor when we were driving over there, and I was looking over gentleman collar, and he was like, "What?" I'm like, "My face doesn't fit me."
Yeah.
And he was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, explaining it's not going to make it sound less crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say anything.
Well, and I do that.
But I think that was my way of saying that I liked the way I looked, but I was uncomfortable with liking that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like it wasn't.
I feel like I have the opposite thing where, because I used to wear makeup every single day.
Me too.
I don't as much anymore, just because, again, fuck it.
Well,
I'm entering the fuck it
I work in an
years.
office where I don't really care.
Yeah, but
people literally show up in sweatpants. I'm like,
nice.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the direction you chose today? Okay, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, no.
But if you work in an office building, like, come on.
I used to be mortified if I had to leave the house and I did not have makeup on. And now I give much less of a fuck. But then that means when I do wear makeup, like when I'm going to something, to an event, and I actually put makeup on and I look in the mirror and I think, God, I like how I look with the makeup on, but then I think how different I look without it. But then I also have the thought that that's not really true. I don't look that different without it. But in my head,
I feel better.
I feel so much different than I do when I don't have makeup on. And I assume that everybody around me is going, oh, she'd look so much better if she put some makeup on. And nobody's thinking that. I never, ever look at a person and go, man, if she just slapped some eyeliner on, she'd look so much better. Like, that never occurs to me. People just look how they look, and it's fine. But we spend so much time focusing on what does everybody think of me? You know, who's laughing at me behind my back? Who's judging what I look like? And it's exhausting. You know, it's exhausting constantly worrying about.
It's not a way you want to be.
No. And
Well, and then the other thing I do, I don't know. Like maybe this is relatable. I don't know.
By the way, new listeners, this is free therapy, so you're just listening to our therapy. Enjoy.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
We don't have health insurance. So, well, I don't. She does. So anyway, the other thing I do is I don't feel deserving of my relationship. Because, I mean, I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I'd go in more in depth in the next episode.
Yeah.
I was so abused, so emotionally abused. And just kind of told that was all I deserved. That was all that was, you know. Yeah. That's all I get. And so I became very accustomed to just looking for the tiny little slivers of hope or niceness or good or whatever. And so now when things are good all the time, I'm like freaking out because I'm like, why? Where's bad? I need to start looking for something bad. So I kind of, you know, poke and pick at it until, you know, there's like an argument, and then I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah.
then I feel comfortable and deserving.
Like it feels more real somehow, or
right. Like if you're not fighting for it, then it doesn't really. It's not
real
love or real or It's which I absolutely 100% know that's my damage. So,
but even though you 100% know it, it doesn't change the thoughts going through your head. Which is the hard thing about it.
I'm getting much, much better at stamping that down before it turns into something. But
and I used to
still, I still sit there and I'm like, well, why me? Like I've literally asked him that so many times. Like, why me? Like you've dated a lot of women before me. You've been married before. Like, why me? Like, what makes me the person that you want to grow old with?
And that's
and his answer is, have you met you? I'm like, no, that's physically impossible.
Well, it's kind of an unanswerable question, especially with
that's what he
human
says,
attraction. You really can't explain it. It's just something that happens. It's this reaction in your brain.
He's like, well, why me? I'm like, because, you're awesome and I love you. And he was like, yeah, exactly.
And the thing about that is, so in our next episode, that's going to be the trigger alert episode. We've already recorded it. We just haven't released it.
We talked about it last one. Yeah. This was the next one, but we didn't want to drop that on New Year's.
Yeah, we thought it's going to be a real bummer. But we talk about our past emotional abuse, different kinds of abuse.
Physical abuse.
I used to feel the same way after I was in the relationship I was in that was abusive. I had that same exact, why would anyone like me? I'm not worthy of, and it's something that you're trained to feel.
That's one thing they use.
Right. That you're trained to think that nobody else.
Good luck meeting anyone who treats you like I do. Right. Or good luck finding someone who'll put up with your shit.
But the good news is, the further away you get from that, the better that gets. For me, this was 20 years ago. And for you, it's still a brand new thing. And I feel like I could just show you what it's going to be like in the future when you don't feel that anymore, because there's going to come a point where you start realizing, really, really understanding that was not correct.
I'm better than I was. I see that. Yeah.
But it's hard. It takes years to overcome that.
I probably said this on the show before too, where I feel like I've climbed, a couple feet up a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I pointed that out to General McCullough. I'm like, I've only gone, 4 feet up the wall. And he was like, you're missing the big hole you dug yourself out of.
Yeah.
You climbed out of a 6-foot hole first. So you're missing that. You're looking down at the ground and you're missing the pit you used to be in.
Right. Yeah.
When I look at it that way, if I look at actually where I was, 2.5 years ago. I
mean, I remember being
5 years
in
ago.
that exact same mindset, and anybody that I would get into a relationship with, I was just like, well, this is going to end any day because they're going to figure me out. They're going to figure out that I'm not a good person. But as the years go, it just takes time to heal that and to start to realize. But it sucks because you still have to go through it in the meantime,
Well, that's how it was with divorce itself too. Because when I was fresh out, I was like, I'm going to be alone forever. No one's ever going to love me again. I'm never going to feel pretty. Yeah. I'm never going to feel good.
Right.
And now, I'm at the point now where I feel good most of the time.
Yeah.
So now it's just going to keep getting better and better and better in that regard.
Yeah.
I sent a picture to my daughter last night. She's so sweet. She's 9. But she wished me a Happy New Year, and I sent her a picture of me at the party. And she was like, I love you. Happy New Year. You look so beautiful, Mom. I miss you. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Kids are so... I mean, I'm not saying have kids. You definitely shouldn't have kids, but mine did that.
I mean, once you have them, you might as well make.
You might as well keep them. I was gone.
Plus, if they're compatible, they're good. It's good to keep organs outside of your body.
That's very true. That match up with your
just in case
your blood type and your DNA.
Kind of blood match. Mine aren't because I'm a negative blood type and they're all positive. Yeah. So I kind of fucked up in that regard. But my come on line, I don't know if you heard me say that at
yes.
I ask everyone their blood type because mine's super rare and I'm just trying to find a new kidney out there,
Yeah, you always need an extra one. I was up
at the convention when we were at Skepticon. I'm like, hi, I'm Amy. What's your blood type?
And the looks on their faces were priceless.
It's fantastic. That's my favorite part. Gentleman Color's like, that's so creepy. I'm like, I know. It's awesome.
Yeah. I was gone overnight a couple of weeks ago and my youngest son, he gets bummed when I'm gone overnight. And when I came back, he just you can just tell he's so happy that I'm home and he just wants to be around me, and he'll be like, you know, I'm so happy you're home. You make
like, that's another thing. Like, I'm like, really? Me?
Like, yeah, I'm not that great. I'm not even that great of a mom, but they so genuinely want to be near you and so genuinely will tell you that you're a great person. And, you know, it's a weird little bond you have with, but I suppose with a kid, you're their only point of reference. So I don't know. You've got to be a good parent to them. But it's very sweet when they tell you that, and yeah.
It's really it made my night.
Well, especially when you're not eliciting it. You're not asking them for something. They just, like with my son, it was just, what makes you happy, Mom? And I said, you do. And he said, you know what makes me happy? What? You do. It was just so cute. So yeah. Don't have kids, but if you're going to have them, they have their cute moments. So yeah, imposter syndrome, good time. I just assumed everybody in the world had it, but maybe they don't. Like, let us know if it's something you guys feel.
In my relationship, I have it in everything, constantly, all the time. And he doesn't, like, at all. Like, every now and then he'll be like, but he just, like, assumes he's there for a reason and he deserves it and he's awesome. And, even in the relationship, he's 100%, I'm deserving of love. You're amazing. This is great. Like, he's just living in it. And I'm just like, but
yeah, if it's, I guess my husband and I have never really talked about it. It's also related
to anxiety. And I have like high anxiety and he does not. So
yeah,
it's linked. Like, my imposter syndrome and anxiety are best friends. Like, they run hand in hand all over the place.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And I think my son, with his anxiety issues, when he talks about it, that's one of the big things he talks about is, you know, if I make waves, who's going to notice and who's going to be looking at me and what are they going to be thinking about me? And there's so much focus on that. And
well, even so, this is probably not a good thing, but I'll go back and listen to episodes of us.
Oh, I do that too.
I actually genuinely enjoy our episodes.
Yeah, so do I.
I listen to them at work. But I see missed opportunities.
Oh God, yeah.
Like jokes, or I should have said this, or I should have done this differently.
Oh, I fucking do that every single time.
Usually if I'm drinking, I don't miss those moments.
Because you're really on point when you're drinking. But yeah.
Stone cold sober.
Yeah.
Because I drank last night. So
I do that a lot too. I'd love to go back and listen. But even then, when I do that, I'm like, oh, I'm a conceited person. That's bad. Other people don't do this. They don't, you know. But they probably do. I mean, I've talked to a lot of podcasters who cannot listen to the sound of their own voice and hate it.
I don't mind.
And some that, you know, like to go back and listen and improve and take notes. But yeah, I do a lot of that. Oh, there's this perfect thing I could have said right there. Or I forgot to mention this. Or yeah, it was when I did Marissa's audio radio show thing and I went back and listened to it. That's all I could think was, everybody else in this is so good. And here's me. And I could have done that line so much better. And I'm sure everybody else was thinking something similar, you know, like, oh, I could have done that one a little differently, but I guarantee nobody was thinking it about me. They were just like, oh, yeah, she's fine. But in my head, it's, yeah, I don't know.
I know.
It's Americans. We're all pretty self-centered. So that's kind of how it goes. Speaking of Marissa's radio play, I'm going to link to it again in the show notes because it's very funny. And I get to play opposite Callie in that, Callie Wright. Even though we didn't record it together, which would have been really fun, but trying to get any podcasters in any spot together for any length of time is always impossible. But I also recently decided, Marissa McCool, we're going to start a Fargo TV show podcast. There is a bonus episode that we dropped last week.
Hey, just released.
For Secular Soup that you should go listen to. And it was just me and Marissa talking about the TV show Fargo, because we both really like it. And so we decided to go back and do just this retrospective podcast that just goes episode by episode and just we give our thoughts. And Marissa has all these fascinating theories about things and, you know, digs more into the episode. And it's so interesting to talk to her about it because she's got, you know, all these things she notices that I never noticed. And so we're calling it Okay Then, a Fargo retrospective. So I don't think that will be dropped until next week or the week after. We're recording our second episode today. But yeah, check that out. I'll put a link in the show notes if it exists yet. We just, like I said,
because
we made the decision while we were recording.
On ours, but then it's going to be a spin-off show.
Basically, yeah, kind of a spin-off of that last bonus episode. Because while we were discussing the entire show, we were like, this would be fun just for every episode, just to dig in. And so now I'm rewatching the whole series again. And I've had someone say to me, I want to listen to that, but I don't want to actually watch that show. And I was a late believer in Fargo. I did not want to watch it when it came out. I thought it looked terrible. And for anyone who's never watched it, you should just watch it with us as we drop episodes. Like, watch the first episode and then listen to what we say about it. And then you can rewatch it along with us, and it'll be super fun. But yeah, I've been podcasting all fucking week. I did the Unapologetics podcast with Brent Lee, which was super fun. Brent is amazing, and we need to have him and Nikki on our show at some point. We're both really bad at planning. By both, I mean you and I, Amy.
We're not even impostering about it. We're literally bad.
We're just really, really objectively.
We don't pretend to be good.
We're objectively bad. In fact, when I was scheduling these times to record with Marissa and with Brent, I was like, oh shit, I can't just drop out at the last second with these two. Like, I can't just send a text and be like, nah, I'm not doing it right now. Like, I should probably just do it when I said I was going to do it, but it's so much easier with Amy. I can just be like, I'm in a bad mood. We can do it tomorrow. Which, we never claimed to be great podcasters, which is why women shouldn't podcast. But yeah, recording with Brent was lots of fun. We talked about the divide in the atheist community. So kind of the free speech warriors versus the social justice warriors and everything that pisses me off about that. So if he's released that by this time, I can put that in the show notes too. But otherwise, just check out the Unapologetics show with an X. Brent is hilarious, and yeah, it was a good time. I'm trying to think of anything else I've done that's interesting or noteworthy that we should put in the show notes. Still haven't sold most of the stuff on Etsy. So yeah, go to our Etsy shop, buy some shit. I don't know. You got anything else, Amy?
At some point, no, I need to do stuff.
Go live your life.
But that's the other thing is I don't feel like good enough.
Yeah. I get it.
So,
the Etsy shop thing, I decided to stop making wine glasses and mugs because the cost to ship them versus the money we make on it is just, it's time and cost prohibitive. So whatever's on there, I'll sell, but the rest, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to make other shit. So we'll see. It'll take a turn. I'll find something new. I've got my vinyl cutter. I could do all kinds of fun stuff on that, but yeah. Etsy shop is kind of at a stalemate at the moment. Yeah, it's 2020. I don't know what to say. I'm just, I'm at a loss for words, which never happens. It's very weird.
Yeah, we're good.
So enjoy your 2020. The next episode, like we said, is going to be a serious bummer. In fact, I think I'm going to record a new intro for it.
I actually had like a trauma reaction just from recording it.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm probably going to have another one just, knowing it's out there.
Yeah, it's because I'm getting very nervous just now being like, oh shit, that's going to be out in the atmosphere. Like stuff I've never told to anyone. I was going to share it on
my page, but now I'm like, my personal page, I'm like,
I'm not sharing it on my personal page. I thought
about it because I kind of want people to know.
For me, I'm not going to just solely because of family members. I don't necessarily want.
Kind of who I want to. I kind of want them to know.
Yeah, I don't want mine to know. But again, for me, it was so long ago, and it's something I've been able to, for the most part, move past. That I feel like telling my family would just kind of bring it back up more, and I don't know. It's. Just so you guys know, listening, it's hard for us to decide to release this because we're telling a lot of intimate details about our past that, I had truly never told anyone before. So that's a teaser for the next show. Make sure you listen. You'll hear everything about our past in great detail. And yeah, I wanted to make an intro that's like, after you listen to this, just please be cool. It's okay. You don't need to feel differently or weird about us. Like, we're still the same people. We can still be funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I was at a party with someone that I know listens to the show, and I was like, hey, this next episode, this was before I knew we were doing this one. I'm like, this next episode, just be ready.
Yeah.
Like, all the trigger warnings.
Yeah, like, I'm picturing everyone who I know that listens.
I called my siblings, too. I was like, if you guys don't listen to it, I'm not going to be mad. I would prefer if you didn't, actually.
Yeah, see, I don't, my brother never listens to the show, so I don't.
My brother doesn't listen
I don't think I'm going to give him a heads up, because giving a heads up would just then be like, oh, I should listen to that one. I don't think I want to do that, but I'm picturing my friends that I know who listen to the podcast listening to it and thinking, oh, God, is that going to, like, change how they are around me or what they think about me or make them feel bad for me? And just, I don't know. It's going to be weird. So join us on that difficult and painful journey.
It's just going to be weird.
Yeah. Or don't listen at all if it's going to trigger some bad stuff in you. We only did it.
We really appreciate your patronage and we like that you listen to our show, but just
feel free to skip that one. It's totally cool. Like, we're not going to feel bad if you. Oh, speaking of which, some of our patrons have had to lower their patronage amount and sent us messages about, how they were sorry and they're just having a hard financial time. Don't ever feel bad about having to lower your Patreon amount or stop being a patron. Like, seriously, don't feel bad. You have no idea how much that does not make me upset, because I know what it's like not to be able to put money into things that I would like to put money into. And the fact that people are becoming patrons at all just still astonishes me. So somebody having to go down a level or stop doing it completely because of money issues, believe me, the two of us are not judging you for that. That's totally legit, totally cool. It doesn't make us feel like bad people, unlike everything else in the world. Yeah. So I'm not saying don't become a patron if you can. I'm just saying if you were and you can't anymore, we totes get it.
Yeah. But have you tried just making more money?
That's true. I mean,
we had that money making episode.
I heard it's not that hard, really. I heard that if you just get some boots and they have straps on them, then you can just pull on the straps and then.
Have you tried being a man?
Probably make more money that. Have you tried just fooling everybody and putting on a suit and showing up at a bank and going, I'm a smart, manly man who knows math things. Please hire me. Yeah.
Words. Important. Listen to me.
Probably wouldn't work. This is America, the land of opportunity, so everybody should have a really good job. And, we should all be fine. Speaking of which, I want to do an episode at some point on communism, because I am rapidly becoming one, and we need someone who actually knows what they're talking about on here to talk about it. Because just the older I get, the more I'm like, yes, overthrow the government, pitchforks, communism. I don't know. I'm sure I'll lose interest in 5 days like everything else.
All right.
Well, it was fun talking to you. Have a great 2020, and we will see all of our... Well, we won't see you. We will talk to all of our listeners next time. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
This is Gentleman Caller. Thanks to all of our fabulous listeners who put up with us droning on week after week. If you enjoy our delightful bitchcraft, please follow us on all the social medias and send us all of your monies on Patreon. You can find us on these platforms by using the Google machine. It's not hard. If you want to commiserate with other fans about how awful we are, join our Secret Soup Talk Facebook group. If you want to tell us to fuck off personally, you can send an email to secularsouppodcast@gmail.com, although it may go unanswered. Please rate and review us on iTunes, Facebook, and wherever else you can review things like this. It will help us spread the soup gospel far and wide. And hey, if you could text at least one friend telling them how great the show is, we'll give you a personal shout out. As always, we'll leave you with the vocal stylings of Mr. Eli Bosnick.
Secular soup creed. Soup is the ultimate virtue. It's delicious, nutritious, patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. Minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and pho. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.